Hey everybody, I'm Andy. This is Margaret. Welcome back to Chronic Woodwork. Today is episode 4 in a series of videos on how to build a cedar strip canoe. Today we're going to be attaching the mold stations to the strong back. It's going to be our last step before we're allowed to do some cedar strip planking, which is really exciting. So let me go ahead and get her to sleep and we'll get started. Here we go. If by some chance you've reached this point of the project and have not steam bent your stems, I'd highly recommend you do so before attaching your mold stations. I'll post a link below and at the end of this video of how I glued up my stems. If you've already completed this task, go ahead and grab your last full mold station and place it on your strong back, ensuring that you line up the center line of the mold station with the center line that we marked on our strong back. Setting up the stem mold assemblies and the last full mold station are the most important steps. So grab a level and make sure it's completely plumb and true. Shim it as required because all the other molds are going to be based off of our 2 stem molds at each end. Use some clamps to hold them in place, and I even grabbed an extra scrap of my 1x1 material and used it to help support the stem mold. Once again, I just used some drywall screws and I attached them from the bottom. That way they really grabbed on to the strong back. Once I was satisfied with one end and it was very plumb, I moved down to the other end and just repeated the process. Once again, ensuring our 2 stem mold assemblies are accurate is the most important part of this step of the project. And I'm going to show you why right here. We're going to attach a string that goes from end to end of the canoe, and it's going to serve as a second reference in order to line up all of our station molds. If our stem assemblies are not accurate, the string is not going to be accurate. Once you are satisfied with your stem mold assemblies, go ahead and grab your 0 mold station and align the center line of that mold station with the center line of your strong back. Hold it in place with some clamps. Okay, I want to take a quick second to explain what I'm doing here with this string. First, I took a measurement of my center mold. It's just shy of 25, it's like 24 3/4, so I rounded up to 25. I came down to the end and I created these little blocks. And all they're going to do is hold that string at 25 inches. So I measured up, made a mark right at 25 inches, clamped a string there, and then did the same thing on this end. And all it's going to do is serve as a second reference point. So I've got my center line written on my strong back, and then I'm going to be able to match that up and the string up to ensure that these molds are perfectly lined up with the double reference, one on bottom, one on top. And that's really it. This phase of the project is simplified quite a bit moving forward because we have our stem mold station assemblies set up and perfectly plumb, and we have a line on our strong back and the string running across the top. We simply just put the mold stations in place, line them up, and screw them into place with our mold station blocks. It may not be the best video, but I need to put this thing into hyperdrive just so you can see it all happen. It's pretty straightforward, just tack it in. So the one thing I will add is that Canoe Craft recommends adding a batten to the top of your mold stations. So the purpose of this is to keep all of the mold stations perfectly plumb or at 90 degrees to the strong back. So take a thin piece of wood, either a scrap of cedar strip or just a piece from the box store, and you're just going to make sure it's at 90 degrees and tack it in with a brad nail. Don't drive it all the way in. You're obviously going to pull this out later. So that's going to do it for this time. Next video, we will finally be attaching the cedar strip planking to our canoe, and this thing's really going to start to take shape. It's going to be really exciting. So we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.